Morning, all. All right, we're going to talk about rookies to start the day because, of course, Connor Bedard scores the hat trick last night. Fantasy's generating a lot of excitement in Columbus right now. There's some rookies who might be pretty darn good. So, looking at the best rookie seasons and then asking ourselves, what can we expect from, and in this case, specifically Connor Bedard? The expectation is that he's going to win the Calder. The expectation is he's going to score a lot of points. So let's look at some of the all-time bests in the game and some of the best rookie seasons we've seen, and then some others I want to talk about as well. So starting off with Wayne Gretzky, 79-80's his rookie season, although he wasn't technically a rookie. He had played in the WHA. He also wasn't drafted. Peter Pocklington making sure that he was not eligible for the draft. So Gretzky in his first 10 games did not set the world on fire scoring-wise. 4 goals, 9 assists for 13 points. That's good. But at the end of the season, 79 games, 51 goals, 86 assists, 137 points. So Gretzky started off well and blew up from there and ends up with 137 points. And of course, he would dominate the scoring in the NHL for almost a decade after that, although he had this other guy, Lemieux, who was right there with him for a lot of that. Starting with 84-85, Mario Lemieux, his first 10 games, he had 2 goals and 11 assists for 13 points. So again, Lemieux, just the 2 goals in the first 10 games, it's not bad. Again, over a point per game, not too shabby. But by the end of the season, his numbers are fantastic as well. 73 games, 43 goals, 57 assists, 100 points. And of course, he's the number 1 draft pick in 84. Famously, New Jersey and Pittsburgh basically fought it out for last spot to try to see who could win Lemieux. And both rosters were weakened. The coaches were told off if they had wins. It was a disaster. So when we look at the lottery situation we have now, a lot of it comes from that 1984 dive to the bottom to try to see who could draft Lemieux. 05-06, we got 2 on the board from 05-06, starting with Sidney Crosby. Crosby, goal scoring wise, slow start, 2 goals, 12 assists, 14 points in his first 10 games. By the end of the year, 81 games, 39 goals, 63 assists, 102 points. He, of course, was the number 1 draft pick in 2005. Alex Ovechkin, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in his first 10 games. By the end of the season, in 81 games, he had 52 goals, 54 assists, 106 points, and won the Calder that year. So, he's the number 1 draft pick in 2004. Of course, he doesn't make his debut until 05-06 because of the 04-05 lockout. Otherwise, Ovechkin probably would have won the Calder in 04-05, and Crosby likely would have had it in 05-06. And then you've got McDavid, the most recent of what we can call transformational talents in the game. Comes in in 2015-2016. 5 goals, 5 assists in his first 10 games. And I remember some saying, he's good, but is he that good? Is he really going to be that good? By the end of the year, his numbers, honestly, a little above a point per game. 45 games. 16 goals, 32 assists, 48 points. He was the number 1 draft pick in 2015. So those are the phenoms, the ones that came in and just took over and everybody thought they were absolutely fantastic. And I'm just limiting it to those 5. Now there's other players who came in and played really, really well right away. But again, I don't want to have, the big massive board and have like 50 names on it. So I wanted to highlight those ones first, and now we'll get into some really good rookie seasons as well, starting with Teemu Selanne, who might have had the best rookie season ever in 92-93. And it starts off quickly. 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points in the first 10 games. Yeah, he was about a goal per game right out of the gate and stays there. In 84 games that year, 76 goals, 56 assists, 132 points. Nobody's ever getting 76 goals in a rookie season again. He was the number 10 draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets in 1988. So it took a while for him to come over, and that is a consideration. Not all of these players were 18 or 19 when they had their first year. Now, for Bossy, he was young. 77-78, he comes into the league for the New York Islanders. 6 goals, 7 assists in his first 10 games. By the end of the year, 73 games played, 53 goals, 38 assists, 91 points. You could basically count on 50 goals a season from Bossy all the way through his career. He's a number 15 pick in 1977, so a bit of a steal for the Islanders at the 15th pick. 81-82 is Dale Hawerchuk. So we've got Gretzky coming in, and 2 years later, Hawerchuk comes in. He has a great start to his season. 8 goals, 8 assists for 16 points in his first 10 games. By the end of the year, 80 games, 45 goals, 58 assists, 103 points. He was a number 1 pick in 1981. and helped to resurrect the Winnipeg Jets after a miserable 80-81 season. And Howard kept them in the hunt in that very tough Smythe division. And I mean, tough is in the top two teams. Toughness is relative. But anyways, basically of the Alberta teams. And then LA, Vancouver, and Winnipeg. Usually one of them was good during any given season. But anyways, I move on. Joe Nieuwendyk comes into the league. His rookie season's 87-88. He did play a little bit before that as well. 6 goals, 4 assists in his first 10 games. At the end of the year, 75 games, 51 goals, 41 assists, 92 points. He was a number 27 pick in 1985, and anytime that a rookie gets 50 goals, it's definitely something to be celebrated. And of course, the interesting thing is, to this point, we have not gotten to a player who's not in or going to get into the Hall of Fame. McDavid's getting in the Hall of Fame. Even if he retired tomorrow and said, you know what, I'm going to go raise alpacas in Peru, he's still a Hall of Famer. Maybe even more so for raising alpacas in Peru. Peter Stastny. So this is an interesting one because when Stastny comes over, I think he's 23 or 24. So he's a little bit older. 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points in his first 10 games. He played 77 games that year, 39 goals, 70 assists, 109 points. Not drafted. Now, for Stastny, coming out from behind the Iron Curtain, and Quebec helped him and his brothers get out. That 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points in his first 10 games, it's understandable it would take a little while for him to acclimate himself, considering the huge cultural shift going from Czechoslovakia and being in North America and playing hockey on a smaller ice surface, completely different game. So makes some sense that Stastny wouldn't have been quite a point per game to start things off, but still, by the end of the year, 109 points. That's pretty good. 92-93, Joe Juneau came into the league. He did have games the previous season, was a point per game in the 14 games preceding that. But in his first 10 games in 92-93, 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points. So he outscored Solani in terms of points through those first 10 games. By the end of the year, 84 games, 32 goals, 70 assists, 102 points. Juneau came in like a ball of fire. I did do the career video on him earlier this summer. It did not last at that level, but yeah, very gifted passer, as you can see, by 12 assists in his first 10 games. 81-82, Neil Broughton comes into the game for a Minnesota North Stars team. That's pretty good. 7 goals, 2 assists for Broughton, 9 points in his first 10 games. By the end of the year, the assists have caught up and surpassed the goals by a lot. 73 games, 38 goals, 60 assists, 98 points. Now, Joe Juneau's a number 81 pick in 1988. For Neil Broughton, he's a number 42 pick in 1979. Arguably the deepest draft ever, but there's a reason for that because they dropped the draft age a year, so you had 2 drafts for the price of 1. Brian Trottier comes into the league in 75-76. Of course, he and Bossy, keystones to that New York Islanders dynasty in the early 80s. He had 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points in his first 10 games. Quite the way to get into the NHL and let them know, hey, I'm here. 80 games by the end of the year, 32 goals, 63 assists, 95 points. He was a number 22 pick in 1974. The Islanders drafting smartly, both early in the draft and later in the draft, and just putting together a great roster. Trottier, a huge part of that. Then you get into a player who was going to be the next one. And I always felt kind of bad for Lindros that way. So you had the great one, you had the magnificent one, and then, Lindros was seen as the next one, right? He was going to be it. His first 10 games, 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points, once he finally debuts for the Flyers after all of the kerfuffle with the Quebec Nordiques. 61 games played that rookie season, 41 goals, 34 assists, 75 points. Number 1 pick in 1991, and honestly, Lindros was worth the advanced billing. He absolutely was. He was worth the wait as well, but staying healthy was always an issue with Lindros, and the fact that he doesn't end up winning a Stanley Cup in his career definitely, probably puts an asterisk there too. Whether or not that's deserved, you guys can make the decision on that. And then we have a couple of rookies that didn't necessarily live up to their draft billing right out of the gate. Nathan MacKinnon had a goal and 6 assists for 7 points in his first 10 games. He does end up having a very good rookie season. 82 games, 24 goals, 39 assists, 63 points, keeping in mind this is during a lower scoring period of hockey than what we have now. He was a number 1 pick in 2013. And it's interesting because I know with McKinnon there was talk about, okay, is he really ready? Is he really ready? And we'll hear that with Bedard as well. I guarantee some point during the preseason, some point during the early season, there will be an off game that he has or a game where he gets pushed around a bit. People say, is he ready? McKinnon, it took him a few years to really and truly become the player he is now. Again, I would say is worth the wait. Steven Stamkos, famously in 08-09, comes into the league with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Did not necessarily mesh with Barry Melrose. Ends up with 2 goals and 2 assists, 4 points in his first 10 games. He did recover by the end of the regular season, though. 79 games, 23 goals, 23 assists, 46 points. He, of course, was the number 1 draft pick in 2008. And there was definitely some concern that first half of that season. Or did he come in too early? Is Tampa Bay ruining the guy? What are they doing here? But by the end of the year, a lot of that conversation had gone by the wayside. So that's 2 guys I wanted to have on the board just as a, hey, if Bedard has his struggles here and there, it's not the end of the world. Austin Matthews, 2016-2017, of course, comes into the league. Had 6 goals, 4 assists for 10 points in his first 10 games. Famously, 4 goals in his first game. Made a video on that when he did that. 82 games played that year. 40 goals, 29 assists, 69 points. And showing that Matthews is a gifted goal scorer. Of course, he's a number 1 draft pick in 2016. The 2015-16 Maple Leafs, they really weren't as worried about wins as they were about, trying to do this little rebuild thing and make it work. And so they had Nylander down in the minors. They draft Matthews. Eventually, you get Marner, you get Tavares, and the rest is history. 90-91, I wanted to talk a little bit about Owen Nolan. Owen Nolan comes into the game, and I don't know that there's anybody who came in with more hype who very quickly, it was clear, was kind of in over his head. He had a goal and an assist in his first 10 games. And by the end of the year, he'd played 59 games, 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points. Lots of talk then about whether or not they ruined him and whether or not he was ever going to recover. He was a number 1 pick in 1990, a famous 1990 draft. A lot of really solid players in that 1990 draft, including a guy named Yager, Ricci, there was Primo, Nedved. It was a very good draft. And so Nolan, after that first year, there was a lot of talk about whether or not Quebec got it wrong. And then, of course, in 91, they drafted Lindros. So Owen Nolan has a rough first year, and then they draft Lindros, who'd already said he wasn't going to play for Quebec. So at that point in time, the Nordiques' reputation is in tatters. And so was Nolan's career, it seemed, after that first year. But the second year, it clicked. So Nolan, after that second year, he was very good, and things turned around. Now with Bedard, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say that 2 goals, 12 assists that Crosby put up, I could see that. I could see the 4 goals, 9 assists Gretzky put up. I could see that as well. The one question we may have with Bedard is he going to be able to generate that offense in the NHL by himself? So there's going to be times where his line mates aren't quite the level that you would want for Connor Bedard. I know that's why they went out and got the players they did in the offseason, Taylor Hall specifically. But if Hall's injured and Bedard has to generate the offense himself, how will he do with that, right? We watched as Crosby, McDavid didn't necessarily have great teams around them to begin with. Same with Ovechkin, and yet they went out and they played well. Lemieux that first year in Pittsburgh, I mean, that was a team that there were some improvements to that roster, but for him to squeeze out 100 points, you look at that lineup he had, it's very impressive. So with Bedard, with the creativity he has, with the hands he has, I do think there's a potential there for him to be the first guy to reach 100 points in a rookie season in a while. It's difficult, though. And so I would not necessarily project that. But I've also seen people projecting 70, 75 points for Bedard. I would say more in the 86 point range. That's just a number that stands out to me. 86 points. I could see that with Bedard, but we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And I'm wearing a Patrick Kane jersey because looking at his rookie numbers, I thought, well, it doesn't really line up with Bedard. It was a very good rookie season. He only had the 21 goals. I think Bedard could double those 21 goals as a rookie. But let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, as I said, and I will talk to you again soon.